Nah, we'll keep that in there.
Don't know if you got a girl. Don't mean to disrespect.
So we have a special guest today, obviously. Brandon.
How's it going, y'all?
So yes, he's a fourth year at our school, and he matched
Yes.
Where'd you match to?
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt.
For otolaryngology, ENT.
Yeah, we're gonna put that up at the bottom.
Just in case you guys see this, because I can't even say
So
it.
what is that?
So otolaryngology, ear, nose, and throat surgery. You basically do surgery on everything from the neck up and from the dura down. So you're focusing on the neck, you're focusing on the nose, you're focusing on the throat, focusing on the face, facial plastic surgery, and the ears as well. So you do a whole lot of different cool surgeries. And the reason I like it so much is because you really get to impact a patient's quality of life. Like, you don't think about it on a regular basis, but imagine something was wrong with your voice, or imagine if you couldn't hear, or imagine if you had this like facial defect. An otolaryngologist is able to help you with that. So
Rewind a little bit. So I didn't check in with you guys.
Yes.
So as always, how are you feeling today? How are you doing? Have you looked in the mirror today and told yourself that you're beautiful? If not, stop this video
y'all
and
got
go
a
do
mirror
that.
for me, or
I mean,
Oh,
you can go over there.
You know, take a moment. You know, but yeah.
All right. So if you've done that, now come back and we can continue.
So this video, we basically just wanted to, interview Brandon and just like get his insight as a Black male in medicine, in medical school, in STEM, and just get his take and advice for you
His
guys.
experience.
Yeah. Like, how does it feel to be done? First
Yeah,
of all? How
first
does
off,
it feel?
'cause I wish.
Because we're only first years, y'all, and he's
Still
like
struggling.
done. He graduates in a month.
I'm telling y'all, this is like the best feeling ever. Like,
Nice to know.
you know what I
Must be
struggle?
nice.
You know what I struggle with every day? Like when I roll out of bed, it's like, first, like how many Netflix shows can I watch today?
That's the struggle.
That's like, I mean, you only have a limited amount of time in each day, and then it's like, okay, now I have this time. Which movies am I gonna watch? Which shows am I gonna watch? And like, am I
What are you
gonna
watching
Uber
right now?
Eats something, or am I gonna stop what I'm doing?
Uber
like,
Eats, so you don't have to
stop
move.
my Netflix.
What
and
show are you
then,
watching right now on Netflix?
Parks and Rec. It's actually
Is
like,
it
super
good?
funny. It's
I
actually
never
really
got
good.
into it.
Like, I heard the title and I was like, what is this, Parks and Rec?
Yeah.
But did you watch The
Right.
Office?
No, I actually haven't watched
I
Office.
never
Please
watched
take
that
that out
either.
because I feel like everybody.
No, I've never watched Office either. People look at me funny.
I haven't watched it because I watched a few
that's-
episodes.
Yeah.
It's next on my list.
Okay.
Don't come attack me. I'm
It's
sorry.
good.
This is the best time in like all of medical school, and doctors will tell you the same thing. Like, just make it to fourth year after you match. Like, you'll be able to go travel. Some of my classmates have gone to Thailand, Japan, South Korea. I'm planning on maybe going to Costa Rica if I could get everything situated. And this is a time to explore and just be a normal person.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird being like normal again, like having a life again.
That's true.
I can go to happy hour. I can do regular stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
It's
nice.
cool. Like you mentioned, like after you match in fourth year, you get to chill. But how else is like fourth year compared to the first 3 years? In the beginning, when you're like doing interviews and stuff.
The beginning of fourth year for me was like super hard because I'm going into a surgical subspecialty. So I was like working my butt off. Like, I'm putting in super long hours. I'm the first one to arrive, last one to leave type of mentality. And you're always being evaluated. You want to put your best foot forward, and just the stress of knowing that everybody's always looking at you kind of wears you down a little bit. And then you go through the interview process, and it's a lot of fun because you get to meet all these cool people from different states, different schools. These are the people that are going to be your colleagues for the rest of your life. But it's also a long process, literally planes every single day. Like,
Wow,
I think
expensive.
And you pay for everything, right?
you pay for everything.
Yeah.
And I think like in a 17-day span, I went on 10 interviews. So I was just
Oh
like
my
plane to
God.
plane to
It's a
plane.
blessing and a curse.
Yeah, it is. And like in a 5-day span, I had 4 interviews, and I got 1 day break between them. And that
Was it
that
the same part of the country or?
No, so I flew from. Let's see. I started off in Colorado, and then I flew to Miami. Then I flew to Philadelphia. Then I flew to Kansas. So
Oh,
it was,
Really all across the
yeah,
country.
it was like all over the place. But
How many interviews total did you have?
I went on 17.
Wow.
In the most humblest way.
goal.
No,
What
this
happened?
is-
17
interviews, ladies and gentlemen.
That it was way too much.
Wow.
If I was to go back, I wouldn't have gone on that many.
So how many do you think the average? Because clearly you're not average. So okay, you can't be average.
We're not being mediocre here.
So how many like interviews do you think the average medical student will have?
I think the average, like for ENT specifically, is different depending on which you want to go into. So for ENT, it's about like 13-ish, 13, 14. And it's not necessarily the more interviews you go on, the better application you are. It's just like for me, I felt like this was the first time I was like ready to leave Texas, and I just wanted to like cast a wide net. I was in California, I was on the East Coast, I was in the Midwest, I was like all over the place just to see where I would fit in best. But other people who know like I want to go to this specific area, they don't have to go on as many interviews. So.
My question is, how did you choose ENT? Like, if you were you indecisive, or did you always know?
No, I did not always know. I didn't 100% like commit to it until like I want to say April of my third year. That was when I 100% committed to it. But for all y'all that are watching right now who are medical students, if you have any thought in your mind that you want to do a competitive specialty, you need to move forward as though you are 100% going into that field. Because when it comes time to apply, you'll be prepared versus going back and forth. I want to do derm. I don't know. I want to do derm, and then you come to your third year, and now you're trying to do some derm research, and then it's too late. But if you decide you don't want to do that competitive specialty and you want to do something less competitive, you have all this research, you have all these great scores that will make you look good for that specialty also. So do not wait. If you have any thought in your mind that you want to do something competitive, just start pursuing it as early as possible. But backtracking to the original question, like
how did you choose ENT?
How I chose ENT. So for me, I mean, first year, I remember like anatomy, the head and neck anatomy. I thought was really cool. It was super hard though.
It was so hard.
It was like so much.
It was actually really interesting though.
It was really difficult and challenging. And I mean, surprisingly, that was my best like block of anatomy. I did best on that part of the body.
I don't even remember what I got.
My best, I think, was the last one because I was ready to be done.
Well, I mean, it was a struggle. But anyways, I was like, man, this is super cool. So I decided to seek out some shadowing opportunities. And when I started shadowing, I was like, man, this is a really cool specialty. Because when you look at anatomy, you're just looking at anatomy. You're not looking at the clinical application of all that part of the body pertains to. So I still remember this patient encounter that I had. I'll just share that with y'all real briefly. When I shadowed in my first year, there was this older African American man. He had chronic sinusitis. If you don't know what that is exactly, you get pain, headaches, lots of nasal congestion, drainage, a lot of different things like that. And he'd been dealing with this for years because he thought, oh, this is just the way of life. I'm not supposed to really be able to breathe out my nose. But he came and saw this doctor. The doctor did surgery on him, and he was coming for a post-operative visit. And when we walked into this patient's room, man, this man was just expressing so much gratitude. He was just like, thank you so much. I can't believe I'm able to breathe out my nose again. Then he closed his mouth and he went,
that's crazy.
Oh my gosh, I started crying.
It's just seeing that, I was just like, man, like I want to be in that doctor's shoes one day. I want to be able to impact somebody's quality of life just like he has. Because, I mean, the science, the research, all that stuff, like it's cool and all, but nothing in my eyes is better than being able to make somebody feel the way that this gentleman did. That will never get old, to really truly be able to help another human being. So that's ultimately why I ended up on this path and pursue this specialty. And it's not just with breathing. I mean, there's so many different things. I touched on it a little bit earlier, but imagine helping a child hear for the first time. Like we take it for granted so often. Like put this video on mute right now and just watch and see where you can take away. And don't put the captions on. Don't put the captions on.
Try to read the lips.
But like, I mean, these things like we take for granted on a regular basis, you know, I'm gonna one day be able to help people with that, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I guess, why did you choose medicine? What made you want to go to medical school?
So for me, medicine was like full of opportunities. I knew by pursuing this career path, I could literally do anything that I wanted. And I felt like it was a perfect combination of my desire to help people and my passion and love for medicine, just all put in one. But for those of y'all listening that might be considering medicine, just know that you literally can do anything as a physician. You can treat patients every single day. You can be a consultant. You can do business. You can do art design. You can do anything that you want to do as a physician. Once you have that MD behind your name, the opportunities are endless. And that's one of the things that really drove me down this path.
And what obstacles have you faced
as
being a Black male in this predominantly white male field?
First and foremost, I will say something that might be not contrary to popular belief, but I mean, I feel like I've been super supported by people that don't look like me, and they've made me feel really welcome. Majority of the time, there are a few instances where you feel like an outsider, but overall, I mean, I'm super thankful, grateful for the attendings. I've been around my classmates. my student affairs mentors that provide me with guidance. Like I've been really, really supported. But I will say one of the biggest struggles I think is myself. Like I feel like I have something to prove, and being the minority, you know that all eyes are on you. And sometimes you feel like you have the weight of your whole entire demographic on your back. You know, you don't want to let all the black men down. You don't want to let black people down by not being smart, not coming prepared, not being on top of your game. So that can get real stressful at times, but you just have to find a way to channel it and use it as fuel instead of as an extra stressor.
Yeah. Do you find yourself like, since we haven't really been like in the hospital setting during rotations, do you find yourself in like awkward positions when it comes to race, and you being like probably like the only black male in the room, and like something comes up and they look to you for like answers?
Like that token black guy.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, we've all been dealing with this for majority of our lives. Like in high school, being in AP classes, you know, one of the few black people in the class, you have to learn how to work through that. And in medical school, it's going to be the same thing. And when you decide to pursue medicine, the reality of it is we are a significant minority. I don't know the exact percentage, but I'm sure it's like between 3 to like 6% of all physicians are black. So you have to learn how to become comfortable in that environment and find a way to thrive, despite not having other people that look exactly like you. And you also have to find people that do look like you and make them your allies and like work with them. So that's why I really like admire what y'all are doing with this, because it just shows the collaborative cohesiveness and the power and strength of what can happen when we come together.
That's true. And that's why I really like our school. I just feel like our community is really nice. Like community in general, but the minority community is also really good. Like we're always uplifting each other, like helping each other out. And that's like one reason why I'm glad that I came to this school.
For sure. So my question is, because I'm really, really big on mentorship. Was there anybody prior to coming to med school, like in your undergraduate career or like in high school, who you felt like really placed a very important impact in your life in pursuing medicine? Or was it always just you knew from jump?
There was not a single one person. For me, it's been like everybody. Like everybody that's come into my life, like they've helped me in some way, shape, or form to guide me to this path. I come from a single parent household, and with that, my mom is just phenomenal, and she's done a lot to get me to where I'm at, but she's also been fortunate enough to have other people who've invested in my life and got me to this point. So it hasn't just been one person specifically, and I feel like I'd be doing a disservice to all the people who've helped get me to this point. But I'm super fortunate for them, and it's gone from basic advisors and undergrad to teachers to just family, friends that I've reached out to, or doctors when I shadowed or when I worked as a scribe. Just that whole collective unit of people really helped get me here. I mean, there's these online surveys that you can take that will tell you a little bit about what specialties you might mesh well with. Don't look at that as a definitive, I'm going to be a colorectal surgeon or whatever, because that's what mine said. I was like, no.
Are you serious?
No.
Wow.
I am not dealing with that part of the body at all. And I took it again and then said it again. I was like, no.
No abortion.
Which one did you say? The one on like AMC?
Yeah, AMC, yeah. But I mean, it's still, even though it's not what I wanted to do, I still like at least thought about it for a second, and I would have never thought about that before.
Did you shadow?
He said, no, not doing this.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Hard pass.
Sometimes you just know.
But somebody gotta do it, you know?
Sometimes you just know, and I was like,
it's not.
It wasn't.
Why do you think there aren't a lot of black males trying to pursue medicine?
That's a really good question, and I think there's multiple reasons. One of the main ones I think is because we don't have enough people currently within medicine who are going back out and reaching into the communities at a young age, at the elementary school level, and then again at the high school level, and then again at the college level, and then just like investing in these young men and then bringing them to where they need to be. And also with black men, I mean, sometimes our interests aren't necessarily aligned with medicine. You know, lots of young black boys out there like have dreams of being an athlete because they watch the NFL, they watch the NBA, they watch baseball, they watch whatever the sport might be, and they get a lot of exposure to those areas. But in medicine, what are we doing to attract these young men into this field? So I think one of the first things we need to do is just some outreach and build these pipeline programs and really invest in them. I remember I did a volunteer experience out in Atlanta once, and we went to this elementary school in this underserved area. And the teacher, I was walking past one of the classrooms. I spoke to one classroom on the left, and there was a teacher in the classroom to the right. And she like grabbed me. She was like, "Come here, you have to come to my room." And I was like, "Who is this lady?" And she's like, "This might be their only chance to see somebody who looks like you, who's doing what you're doing." I was like, "Man, that's deep," you know. And we, even myself, like I'm aware of these problems, but I'm still living in my bubble, and I'm still not even fully aware of how much of an impact that we can make by just simply being present and caring enough to reach out and bring others to where we're currently at. So I think if we all try to make that some type of a priority, we can definitely see a shift in the culture. And we got to model off of our Black women too. Like y'all are a great example for us right now. Like y'all are killing the game in medicine.
But we need our Black men.
Yeah, she really did.
I mean, y'all have been doing phenomenal. Like since I've been at my medical school, I've seen so many Black women come in each year. There's a couple of Black males that follow, but whatever recipe that y'all put into to make that happen, y'all need to share it with us.
If you do want to hear more from Brandon, then check out Sandra's videos.
You did an interview with Sandra, right?
Yeah. So if you want, and you did more detail like on like how you got to medical school, right?
Yeah. It was like a 3-piece segment.
Okay.
So definitely check that out.
Yeah. If you want to see more of his face, then go to her channel, and we got you on her channel. So,
and we'll like put all the information in the description box below. So we got y'all. Alright, so now to
they randomly be laughing, and I'm just like, what's going on? Like,
it's just something else.
I'm missing the signals. And
There's no signal.
Our brains just
are in sync.
Yeah.
So
that's what.
So now to the Drop a Gem segment. Now you have to kind of notice all things.
You know.
There you go. So yeah, this is the Drop a Gem segment. This is where we, drop a gem. We're gonna pass it on to him since he's our first special guest on our channel. So,
all right.
What is your gem for this week?
We dropping gems. All right, cool. So I just, for whoever's watching this, I just want y'all to know, and this is the same message that I always give to people. And that is that if you want to pursue this career path, like I want you to know that it is 100% possible. It is possible. I've seen people who this pursuit comes very natural and easy to, and I've seen people who've struggled and been relentless and who have eventually persevered. Surround yourself by people who are going to be supportive of you, who are going to help you get there, and never lose faith in yourself. Like never lose faith in yourself at all. I'm telling you, if this is something you want to do, you find a way to stay motivated on a regular basis and keep pushing forward. And I am very positive that you will get there. And don't let yourself be your biggest enemy, because very oftentimes, especially I feel like within minorities, so I'm not sure exactly what the reason is, but we all have this negative voice in our head sometimes that's like, do you belong here?
Yeah,
are you good enough? Am I an imposter? Some of y'all might know about imposter syndrome, but you have to find a way to overcome that. And don't listen to that voice. Think positively, silence that voice as much as you can, and continue to move forward and persevere. And one day y'all might be sitting in their shoes as first year medical students about to be done, or sitting in my shoes about to be done with medical school, and have an MD. You know what I'm saying? Like this is possible. It is a reality, and we're living it, and you can too. So best of luck to you in this journey. Never give up, and keep moving forward.
That's a true. I love it. Wow, we got what's here.
So thank you guys for tuning in to our video with Brandon.
Hopefully you enjoyed it. He dropped a lot of gems throughout the whole video. Hopefully y'all was tuning in, paying attention, writing stuff down if you need to.
But yeah, thank you for coming out to our channel and sharing your story with us.
Thanks for having me.
If you guys have any questions, we'll put his Instagram below. And if you have any questions for us,
may not be childish.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions for us, we're leaving our info below. Twitter, follow us on @thechocolate_dog.
Facebook,
@thechocolate_dog.
Instagram,
@thechocolate_dog.
Email us,
chocolatedog@gmail.com.
You can slide into our DMs,
not
like that.
Not really, but ask
with questions, advice, not like that.
We'll have a new mail
this
following.
is why y'all do this, huh? Look, I'm about to start my new channel. The chocolate mail dot. Okay, look.
High key though. But yeah, so thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.